Hey, there's a big difference between showing and telling somebody how great you are or how good your product or service is. Everybody can tell, and all of us do that. But if you're not showing also, then it's a broken process. So in this episode of Giant TV, I break down the agenda from that first Zoom interaction with a prospect all the way through to where you can start easing into your close, but how you can show value along the way. And I think you're really gonna love this one. Let's go jump in. Hey, this is Paul, and I want to walk through this process real quick. I was on a call today with a client. It was an awesome call. We were talking about this when we got into the weeds on reaching out, showing versus telling. And really, that's the focus here. How can you show somebody the value as opposed to just keep telling them how great your service or product is? And this came up because, a common theme with this was a Vistage chair, but, a common thing can be price, sort of a big ticket item. But if someone keeps, mentioning price early on and it's an obstacle over and over, then they're not seeing the value, enough on the offer. So let's talk about that a little bit. So I'll run through this. So here you get your leads, right? You niche for your leads. Now you start doing the outreach. These are campaigns. We all have the same thing we want to accomplish. We want to get on a Zoom. Maybe it's a face-to-face meeting or a phone call. It should be, not a phone call, face-to-face or Zoom. A lot of Zooms. I'm going to go with a Zoom here for this description. So we all want to book a Zoom. Now there's a whole strategy about how you can book a Zoom because that can be a bottleneck. We all get ghosted and et cetera, et cetera. But I'm not going to go into that now. That's a separate thing of all the tools and strategies that you can use to just book a Zoom. So now you book a Zoom, and I'm going to interject kind of what I do here and what came up with this Vistage chair and what we were talking about. So I book a 1 hour Zoom, and I just, at this point, I'm going to assume this for this discussion, where people know what you do. People know what I do. They're interested in learning more. Maybe it's been a referral. Maybe they follow me. They see my videos, whatever it is. They know. They're interested in potentially working with me, as opposed to somebody who has no idea what I do and it's just a fluffy conversation. So I said a 1 hour because there's a lot I need to accomplish there. And if you're, deciding to work with somebody, an hour is okay to book an hour. So now when you get on a Zoom, couple things. One is, every time you show up with your A game and just, high energy. We all know that. And one of the strategies that may seem inconsequential, it's not, is your Zoom background. So this is where you can start to show people and tell a story about you, your background, who you are, building rapport. Because, that first Zoom is build rapport, knowability, likability, trust. So one of the things I'll do is I'll use Zoom backgrounds strategically. And so, for example, this is one. I went to school here. This is University of San Francisco, small Jesuit school in the city. And so it comes on. People will, if I have this up there, everyone asks me, where is that? Eastern Europe? What's going on? Is that Poland? And it opens a conversation. And what it does is it humanizes me and it makes me a person. And they start to get to know me. Hey, what is that going on? What's that? And if they don't ask, I point it out. Oh, by the way, this is where I went to school, in the rapport building scenario right up front. And I could tell them, hey, I went to, University of San Francisco. They've got this beautiful looking church. You would love it. It's part of the skyline. Versus showing them this, big difference. Telling versus showing. Show whenever you can. So think about Zoom backgrounds you can use other than just a blurry background or just your, background of your house or, some, stock virtual background. Maybe you want to show your family or, your family guy, or maybe, sometimes I have my office building picture. I have a really beautiful picture at night of our office building. It's a high rise in Orange County, California. It legitimizes us. People can see, yeah, guy's in a nice building. He's got a nice firm. They're housed there. And I'll mention it. Hey, here's our building right here. I've had family up here sometimes for different situations and this. So my point is, be strategic. Don't overlook these things. It's an opportunity for you to stand out and to show people different things. So, all right. And now, when you get on that first Zoom, this is the agenda that I keep. I'll run through this. Number one is you get on the Zoom. We all know this. You got to build rapport. You don't know this person. You're building rapport, knowability, likability, trust, and be curious. Right when you get on, start asking questions and ask a few follow-on questions, about things that probably they care about. Do they have family? Where are they from? Hey, I see the family photo in your background. It looks like you got a couple kids, or I see the dog in the photo. What kind of dog is that? I mean, you get it, but be genuinely curious about them in that first part of the agenda of your Zoom call. And that's really important. Now, and you've got to quarterback this meeting, so you've got to really create the flow here. So you let that go on for a bit, be authentic, be curious, be genuine. Then number two is you got to let the prospect shine. This is where, boom, you take over and you ask them about, what's going on with them, their business. Hey, tell me about your background, your business. I'd love to hear more. I see on LinkedIn, it looks like very interesting business. Looks like you're crushing it. What are you doing? What's going on? And then sit back and just be quiet. Let them talk. You can ask a few questions, but let them shine. Spotlights on them. People love talking about themselves, their business, and you learn a lot about what to focus in on and how to interact with them when you just zip your lip and listen. If you're a good, curious person, you just obviously pick up on a lot of signals about how to interact and what to focus on. So let them shine, let that go on, and then usher the conversation forward. And the last part of it is you are now shining. And this is where you can start to get into the showing versus telling, because everybody's going to tell about themselves. Here I am. Here's what I do. Here's my business. Got to show. Showing is powerful. So when you start to shine, what you do is you want to mention, in most cases, a little bit about your background. And, I mentioned my background. I want to legitimize myself and I want people to know, listen, I've been in the trenches. I'm in the trenches right now, growing these businesses. I'm like you, grinding away every day. I'm not some guy sitting on a mountain thinking I know everything and not doing it. I'm in it. And so when I start telling about my background and what I've done, then it legitimizes me as somebody who can speak to the issues. And so a little bit about my bio, not a ton, but a little bit. And I weave in there important things, again, that build rapport and humanize me. I've got 4 kids. That always comes up, a big family guy. And so that resonates with most people, family, and it humanizes people. And so I'll mention that about my bio, my work experience, the success I had doing it, and so forth. So then once I got my bio going, then I start talking about, the business and what I give people. And so this is where I start to show. Showing's more powerful. And so I will share my screen. You're on Zoom, share my screen. And I have very strategic things I show people. I don't show them a ton. I certainly don't go through a 20 slide deck, presentation that's going to put anybody to sleep. I don't do that. That's, just anathema for these sort of discussions. You're, good night, Irene, if you start doing that. But you can show and be specific. Most people are visually oriented, but be strategic. So what I show, for example, is I will show, I know what my network cares about. I know their pain points, their challenges, their opportunities, what they're, I know what they want to see, what they really care about. I know my niche very well. And so I show them things I know they care about that are the hot button issues for what I offer. For example, I will show them the dashboard, the lead generation dashboard. So of course, everyone wants to sell and get new clients. And, the dashboard, if you're a client, you know what I'm talking about. The dashboard is great, helps people stay organized. It's got AI built into it. It's insane. Love the dashboard. And so I'll show it to them because lead campaigns, run through the dashboard and it becomes their best friend. And I'll tell them that. I'll show that to them and they'll see it. And I won't spend a lot of time on it. I'll highlight a few things. But when I show that, what they see is human beings interacting. They see, lead campaigns going on. They see, leads in the inbox. They see the AI functionality in there. I mean, I show them a couple, really sweet things with that dashboard, and it is very powerful. Now I could tell them about that all day long and how great it is, but showing them worlds apart. I also will show an actual master prospect list, because what I tell them is, hey, we develop a master prospect list every relationship, and then it's great because we scrape for emails, phone numbers, revenue, head count, which is particularly important for Vistage shares, and so we develop master list, which is great because then everybody can focus on it. We can get compelling offers in front of them, convert them, and just stay focused on them together. Again, I tell them that sounds great. What if I show them that list? I show them an actual list of real people, leads for another chair, and it's insane. I mean, it's real. They see it. And how do you like to have this master prospect list and be dealing with these people and strategizing? This is real. So I show them very specific things they care about. And they're, it's not where their eyes are glossing over. They're into it. They're looking at it. They love it. And so think about your business. And what I was talking about with this chair is you got to show something. So what can you show? And we were spitballing this. And what I come back to a lot with chairs is testimonials. And I'll show you how I work it in here. But not only testimonials, but also the people in your group. If you want to join Vistage, obviously what matters is the CEOs in the group and who are they and what's going on. So if you were able to show them, you tell them, hey, I've got incredible leaders in my group. We're getting together monthly. I'm doing one-to-ones, but the people are collaborating. These businesses are crushing it. That's great. Show them. Have a slide up, for example, and depending on your members and what's going on there, you can show them the businesses, or you can also keep it private in certain ways. You can work around that. But point is, you show them the industries, the companies, saying, hey, these are the people in my group. Show that slide. They're killing it. These are your peers in the area. And, whether you're joining my group or not, I'd love to get you networked with them at some point. But we are getting together, and this is incredible. And, so you show them that, very powerful. They can see it. And maybe you have representation of your one-to-ones and group meetings, or, maybe there's specific issues that are common with your niche, your prospects, and you can show them something that addresses that specific issue they care about up there. You just got to think this through. But my point is showing versus just telling. You got to do both. And think about your business and what could you put up there that is compelling, they care about. Now, what I'll do in the first Zoom too, I mentioned this, I bring up cost. This comes up a lot with Vistage. It's a high ticket item, in a sense, and it's not a $99 thing, and it's great, a lot of value, but price is price. People are always wondering about price. I always bring it up on the first Zoom. I don't let them ask me about price. I will bring it up. And I won't bring it up until after I'm doing some showing, sharing, telling over here. Then I bring it up towards the end, and I'll just say, hey, everyone wants to know about cost. Here's the cost. And I run through it, and, very confident about the cost. And, you just got to have the mindset. This is a high value thing you're getting. This is, good stuff, well worth the money you're going to spend. And, you've been telling them and showing them the stuff they're going to get, and bring up cost. I don't ask for the business right here. I'm not bringing up cost to ask for the business. That will just destroy the whole process. Your first Zoom, not asking for the business. I'm letting the process work here. It's too early in the process for me to start asking for the business. Now, I have a lot of one-call closes because the process runs through. They already know about me, and they're ready to go and pull the trigger. But my point is, I don't say, hey, you ready to sign up? I just let the flow go, certainly bring up cost. And then I always explain what the next step is after this Zoom. And because it's a very strategic step. And I'll say, because you got to have a next step. You can't hang up here with nothing going on and say, okay, they may say, well, let me think about it. Because you get to this point, people are going to say different things. Hey, this sounds great. I love what you're doing. Let me think about it. Or, after the first year, I got to fire my old team, or, whatever the case is going on. People are going to, there's going to be some time here. So you got to have your next step. And I say, hey, after the Zoom, I'm going to send you a couple of strategic things that are going to be of huge interest to you. And so I'll show you what I send them here. And what can you send afterwards? And the focus is it's got to continue to build rapport, knowability, likability, trust, continue to sell after you hang up. When you hang up, of course, you ramp it up even more. So strategic next step, show. Remember, what can you show them as a next step? You've already shown them some things up here. You're telling them that's great. Building rapport. Now you got to be strategic. I send a video message. I use BombBomb. As a matter of fact, this is BombBomb here. And I will always send a video message for a lot of different reasons. We can talk about that if you want to talk to me offline about BombBomb and what all that can do. But my point is video message embeds an email and so forth. And I will have with the video the copy with it. Never send a naked video, because somebody may want to just read and not watch the video, or they'll do both, or whatever the case is. You always want to have, basically a summary of what you're saying with the video. So, but anyways, you send that email from your personal email, and I just, I wow them with my follow-up. So I have the video, I have hot items I'm sending them to continue to close. And one of the main ones is testimonials. You got to have testimonials. Talking to the chair about this today. You got to interview your members about their business, how they're crushing it, and how Vistage played a role. Not all about Vistage, about their business, but sprinkle in Vistage testimonial, because you're going to use that everywhere, and you got to have that. And maybe have multiple of those. So my hot items, testimonials. Hey, I did a video with clients. Here, go. I have a ton of them. Go. Here they are. These are your peers. Check out what they're doing and what they're saying. So there's that. I also direct them to a very hot PDF from a media company called Wise Owl. It's all about video. I mention it in my Zoom, my first Zoom. They know what it is. And the reason they're going to go check it out is I tell them the reason you need video in the selling and marketing and nurturing of your business is because your CEOs that you want to sign the dotted line to join Vistage want to watch a video to learn about your service. And how do I know that? You need to check out the Wise Owl annual State of Video report. It's eye-opening. It's fascinating. You'll love it. I direct them to that, and they look at it every single time. And it is an incredible report. And the reason they look at it is because of what I just said. Their CEOs, go listen to what your CEO is saying in this report. If you want to close them, this is going to help you. And so that's why they look at it, as opposed to sending an item like, here's my newsletter. Check out my newsletter. No one's going to read it. Nobody cares. Send them things they care about. I'll send them that testimonial, the Wise Owl, and then I will, in my video, break down the highlight of our session and where I think I could help. So I'll zero in. So the video is a very focused video on what we just talked about, and where I see holes in what they're doing or opportunities for great things going on. And so that's an important piece of it. And then I'll work in a few other things. I'll change it up a little bit, depending on maybe what we talked about on the call. I'll add something specifically for that person. I just got so many things in my bag, but I do send these hot items every time. And then immediately that person goes into my Nurture Touchpoint system. They're getting invited to LinkedIn events I'm doing. They're getting tagged on content. They're getting emails where I'm guiding, teaching, helping. They are getting everything. And I'm maybe manually sending them some things and doing different things. My point is they're getting touched at a high level between that Zoom call and the next time I interact with them. All right. Second interaction. So I don't know what your selling cycle is, or maybe you have a different business or whatever the case is. It's a little bit different, but the second interaction is where this can happen. Is first of all, if you're strategic about what you send, then you have a good reason to follow up. And you can ask for feedback, for instance, on the testimonials. If you're sending your members, like a Vistage member testimonial, and you're teasing somebody, hey, love your feedback on your peer here. And also, if you'd like to meet them, network with them, so you position that right. It's a great reason. And they're going to be compelled to interact with you on that level. So you have that reason going on to interact. And then also, this is where you can start to lean into your close. Again, don't know your selling cycle where, maybe there's a third interaction or whatever, but you can, ask for feedback. Obstacles may come up, whatever it is, you can address those, overcome those. Maybe you have to follow up on an obstacle they bring up, who knows what, but depending on your niche, your business, or what's going on here, but you can certainly start to lean into the close on the second interaction and start moving them forward. And so this is the organization. This is a broad brushstroke, but the point I want to make here is where, showing along the way at every step is very important. And so think about that. How can you work it into your process? Hope this helps. Thanks.